I truly ask myself what is worth my happiness and my stress. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. As always, I am so excited to have you guys here. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name's Claire. I'm a naturopathic doctor and I'm super passionate about helping you guys feel more educated and empowered when it comes to your health. But I also know that we are overwhelmed by health information online. Let's be real about it. And I like talking about how we can actually translate that knowledge into our life and tangible ways that we can implement more healthy habits into our daily routine. So with that being said, let's just jump right into the video. I filmed this on a day that I wasn't going into the clinic, so I'm just working from home. But regardless, I will always start my mornings the same way. Usually get up, do some tongue scraping, brush my teeth, wash my face, all of that good stuff. And then I'll usually meditate for a little bit. I'll either just sit in silence or I'll do some sort of meditation app if I'm finding that my mind is a little bit more scattered. Then I will usually either read or journal. On this day, I started with reading, and something that I struggled with for years was actually applying the knowledge that I learned in books to my day-to-day life. So now whenever I'm reading a spiritual book or a self-development book or a health-focused book, I will always take notes either on things that I think are relevant, or if it makes me reflect on something specific in my life, I'll write that down. And it also creates good journaling prompts and everything. But I think it's really important to remember that in this day and age, when we have access to so much information and so much knowledge, yes, the acquisition of knowledge is important, but it is equally, if not more important, to actually apply the knowledge that we learn. So I always like to keep a notebook handy, especially when I'm reading in the morning, just so I can jot things down, and sometimes it will also kind of get the ball rolling for a good journaling session. And then after I was done journaling, I was so excited because I have had the tarp on my egg chair on my balcony all winter, and it's finally warming up in Toronto. Summer is definitely here, so I decided to take the cover off. I didn't realize that I had a blanket sitting in there. I guess it was there all winter, which is not really ideal, but just very excited. I swear that in the summer, I just live in my egg chair, like reading in my egg chair on a warm summer evening. The dopamine of doom scrolling cannot compare. Anyway, after that, I just did some stretching. So I will either usually do a workout in the morning or some sort of yoga flow. I really like getting in a good amount of movement in the morning. I just find it wakes me up. It gets my muscles loose, and it also just sets me up for a good day. I find that if I get a lot of walking and movement in the morning, I'm actually more motivated to walk and move throughout the day. Whereas I find if I'm a lot more sedentary in the morning, then I really struggle with getting enough movement throughout the day. So that is just something that I have found works for me. Yeah, with the warm weather, I just can't pass up doing it on my balcony. Got back from my walk. I picked up a few things at Whole Foods. I had to pick up more spring mix for salads, and then I had to pick up more coconut oil. I've been trying to get back into coconut oil pulling in the morning because it's really good for the oral microbiome, good antibacterial effects. Everything that happens upstream in your digestive system is so important for the gut microbiome and keeping that balance. I think that so many people focus on the gut microbiome, and of course it's so important, but I think that we forget how important that upper half of the digestive system is, mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, gallbladder, and liver, and bile acids, and how those impact the gut microbiome, and stomach acid, how that impacts the gut microbiome. So anyway, I'm going to do probably about 15 minutes of oil pulling while I get some work done, and then I'll probably make breakfast. I bought English muffins because I saw someone eating an English muffin breakfast sandwich on the weekend and it looked really good, so I was like, I'm gonna buy English muffins and make breakfast, probably not a breakfast sandwich, probably like an open face sandwich. Anyway, I'm going to do some oil pulling, then probably make breakfast in a little bit. So I always talk about the importance of having a high fiber, high protein breakfast, and I always aim for about 7 to 10 grams of fiber at breakfast and about 20 to 30 grams of protein. This one was, I think I calculated it, and it was about 9 grams of fiber and 22 grams of protein. So great start to the day. If you wanted to add even more protein, of course, you could add another egg and you would really be up close to that 30 grams. I also remembered that I had some honey, so I added that on top. And then I really am working on being really diligent about putting my phone away, just eating completely distraction free. Not only is this really important for our digestive system to function properly, but it's also just really nice to give ourselves those little breaks throughout the day. And then of course, after my breakfast, I made myself a coffee, and I figured while I had the water boiling for my coffee, I'd also make up a big batch of tea. So the day before this, when I was in the office, I made a big batch of loose leaf tea, and I always like to do a mix of herbs that I both want the medicinal properties of and that I like the taste. So I believe that this one had licorice, ashwagandha, hibiscus, nettle, and dandelion. And I'll just make up a big batch of that when I get home. I'll usually make a liter at a time, and I'll let it steep for at least 10 to 15 minutes. But a lot of the times I'll just let it go for quite a bit longer. I'll even let it cool down, and I love drinking it as a nice, refreshing iced tea in the summer. I had a good amount of work to get done this day, so I just sat down, had my coffee. A little bit later on, I had an iced tea, and yeah, I just got to work. Okay, I've just been doing some work for a few hours, and I think I'm going to take a break and go to the gym. I've talked about this before, but I do about 3 to 4 strength training workouts per week, really focused on building muscle mass. I've had requests to do a full week of workouts, so that video will probably come eventually when I get around to filming it. But I'm just gonna go to the gym. I think I'm gonna do a full body workout, so probably some deadlifts. I really just like to focus on more compound movements, and then I will probably bring my gua sha and go to the sauna. I won't be able to film any of it because I can't film in the sauna or in the locker room or anything, but usually I'll just go into the sauna and do some gua sha, do some lymphatic drainage. I try and do that at least a few times a week, and then I'll get back to work this afternoon. We've been up for way too long, but I don't wanna come down. Caught up in a long free fall, you got me off of the ground. Sway for a minute, the plane moves side to side. One way ticket, I want you in my life. Feel a mile high when you're on my side.
cruising through the night.
All right, guys, it is quite a bit later. It's about 5:30 right now. I've just been editing all afternoon and I'm about halfway through recording the voiceover for my last video. It will be out by the time you guys are watching this, but I'm about halfway through doing the voiceover for that. I will show you guys a clip of my setup when I do my voiceovers, because the only way that I don't get a really bad echo in my apartment is if I basically create this little tarp thing with an old duvet cover and then put my microphone underneath it. So it's a pretty interesting setup. Anyway, I think that I'm going to take a little break and go for a walk. I have been feeling just a little bit anxious this afternoon. Honestly, I've been feeling a little bit anxious the past few weeks. I've had a lot of those more so intrusive thoughts. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough in life. I'm not doing enough in my career. I'm falling behind in life. All of those lovely thoughts that you just seem to have in your 20s and seem to be amplified by the modern world. And I talk about so much about how I really saw improvements in my mental health, my anxiety, my stress levels, all of those things when I implemented more mindset work into my life. And this is a really great example of a day where I am practicing mindset work. For me, I've kind of had to set really clear boundaries with work and just other things in my life where I truly ask myself what is worth my happiness and my stress. And we live in a world that is constantly telling us that there is more that we can be doing, that we can be ultra productive at all hours of the day. And it can also make it seem like everyone else who is our age or even younger is so far ahead of us in terms of what they've accomplished. For me personally, I've really been trying to keep that in mind when I have these more intrusive thoughts. That is my little rant for the day, but I'm going to go out for a walk, take a little break, and then try and finish the voiceover for the video. I really wanted to do a pantry tour in it as well, but honestly, I have a full day in the clinic tomorrow and a full day in the clinic on Friday and then a half day on Saturday, and then it's my weekend, and I've been really trying to set clear boundaries with my weekends. So unfortunately, I don't think the pantry tour is going to be in the last video that you guys watch or this one. I'm gonna go for a walk, enjoy the weather. It is so sunny and gorgeous out in Toronto. Summer's here. It is going to be a great year. We can all take some deep breaths and remember that we are in control of our emotions and we are in control of our mindset in a world that is crazy and is constantly changing and is anything but secure. We can find that safety and security in ourselves. Okay. I'm gonna go for a walk now, maybe a few other deep breaths, and then I'm definitely gonna go for a walk.
Feel a mile high when you're on my side, high up in the sky, cruising through the
All right, I am just sitting down for dinner. I'm so excited. I just made some roasted broccoli with some frozen broccoli that I had in my freezer. I had some leftover salmon, so I warmed that up. I also had some leftover Japanese sweet potatoes. I'm probably going to add some kimchi as well, and of course some tahini on top. This is just the best combo. I think that I'm just gonna end the vlog here. To be honest, I'm pretty tired and I feel like I just need to rest the rest of the evening. But yeah, that is something that I've really been prioritizing, is really that wind down after dinner and really getting my nervous system into a place where I am ready to go to bed. We can do all the things to avoid the screens and things like that, but if you're really not emphasizing the wind down, getting yourself into a really calm and relaxed state before bed, and that can be doing some mindfulness practices, that can be going for a walk, just doing something like that, I have found found to be very helpful. And like I've said before, it's important to remember that our nervous system is wired for familiarity. So if you are used to doing work right before you go to bed or doing stuff that kind of riles you up before you go to bed, you're going to keep doing that until you consciously make the change. And that is something that I have really, really struggled with. But with that being said, I'm gonna go eat my dinner. As always, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got some value out of it. As always, my goal is to make content that you guys enjoy and that you guys get value out of. So let me know in the comments below what you want to see more of, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Cause all of my thoughts take the